And down here at the bottom right-hand corner of the map, Antiga Shipyard, we have our blue Terran player from the team Evil Geniuses. It is DeMusliM. And his opponent throwing out B, GGGL. In the top left-hand corner, our purple Protoss player from Dream Team Gaming, it is Sickness.
Yep. I'm just still thinking about that last game. That was, and just how amazingly well Sickness just sort of like took apart that Zerg army piece by piece. That was just like, that was like someone, it's like he had 6 arms and they were each holding a scalpel. He was like so accurate but so fast. It was like terrible. It's terrifying. Terrible, terrible damage, right? That's what you're supposed to call that? I think that's what it was.
Very definition of terrible, terrible damage. That's there. Right. So and you're right, though. I think he used the perfect word. Evaporated was what his army did.
Evaporated. It was reduced to its molecular structure.
That's true.
Taken apart atom by atom.
It's a bad way to go, honestly.
I've heard. That's what happens when you cross the streams if you're a Ghostbuster, you know?
Yeah, that's right.
It's molecular deconstruction, man. You don't want to have any of that happen.
Don't ever cross the streams.
It's rough.
All right. So, game number 4 now with EG still up 2-1 at the moment on the back of Idra's 2 wins, but of course he is out. And DeMusliM trying to make his way in now and send them up 3-1, but Sickness proven to be quite a good player after game number 3, I guess it was.
Well, he played in such a weird way. I mean, I've never really seen a Protoss player just be like, I'm just going to keep playing my single-player base-taking game over here on my side of the map. If you ever want to come over, just let me know.
Yeah.
I'll be there to vortex everything and then feed back all your infestors and win the game.
Those feedbacks were gorgeous. I mean, that was incredibly well done. So, and now we're back at TVP, and we'll have to see how it pans out for both of our players now. Yep. But nothing really out of the ordinary for these. Well, okay, as soon as I say that, Sickness then goes double gas after Gateway. Literally the moment I'm like, well, nothing out of the ordinary. Oh, no, just super late gas, but then I'll just double gas. So we'll see if he's going to catch up and go into a normal build after that, or if, of course, he is a player who does, from time to time, use things like DTs.
Well, the thing is, too, is this, you know, after that last game where he just played extremely passive, like the most passive I've ever seen a Protoss player play, the perfect follow-up, especially on a map like Antiga Shipyard, would be a Void Ray all-in. So I don't know if he's going to be doing something like that, but wouldn't be a bad option. DeMusliM checking for that Nexus, seeing that it's not any sort of really fast Nexus first. You know what? There's nothing to stop him from coming in and seeing these 2 gases. So yeah, you mentioned Dark Templar. At the very least, DeMusliM is going to be getting a fairly quick evolution chamber, a fairly quick engineering bay to get that missile turret down early on. Going to save scans at the appropriate time for DTs.
Yeah, I mean, seeing double gas when DeMusliM did is not necessarily that out of the ordinary, because we've still seen people go through 1-gate sentry expands and things like that that do use 2 gas. Exactly, but it makes him have to be aware of what his opponent is going to do when he sees double gas.
Yeah.
As we know now, it is going to be a sentry for now. We'll see if Twilight Council hits in a bit, or if he is going to throw us for a little bit of a loop. Robotics facility. Been a while since I've seen a robo off of 1 base before an expand.
You know, if he did just want to do this to get the sentries out a little bit earlier, you know, I wouldn't be surprised by that at all. He did play a very, very passive game last game as well. So, I mean, to kind of trick your opponent into making play a little bit more defensively themselves may be kind of his intent if he wants to be, you know, more economically aggressive here. It looks like DeMusliM going for a very standard Terran versus Protoss build, getting those 3 barracks. He's getting the 2 gas, going to see the factory and the starport for the medevacs fairly soon afterwards. But yeah, I really feel like he should include an engineering bay, though, just to kind of be safe in this regard.
I mean, we've seen some Terran players that go for 1 racks gasless fast expand into 3 racks into engineering bay, so they can prioritize add-ons, tons of upgrades, and just make sure that they can hit a big old beefy stim attack or something like that. So that's certainly still a possibility. We'll see if that factory ends up hitting here in a second. He's almost up to 100 gas.
Yep.
And he used a little bit on a tech lab.
Yeah, you can totally save scans as well. You don't necessarily need an engineering bay, especially if you're not planning on getting upgrades with the build you've chosen. So he could still be okay against TTs, I guess. But the thing that he needs to keep in mind, the thing that all pros kind of think about is that
God.
Never mind.
Proxy 4-gate, proxy 5-gate, Sickness, you are sick.
I like it.
The very definition of sick.
I like this kid.
No, I mean, you're ill. You should find a doctor that's...
Well, maybe that's true. It will actually be a warp prism all in. He's bringing it in right now. He's got it building at the robotics facility. But DeMusliM, you know, like I was just about to say, when you see something like that, you don't see what your opponent is doing, you see what they're capable of, right?
That's right.
So he needs to be prepared for all eventualities. That probe actually living, the Marine almost living, oh, the probe not living now.
But it sees all three bunkers, so it makes up his mind for him, knows he needs to go around the main.
I just commentated that like a children's book. The probe is living. The probe is not living. The Marine is shooting the probe.
What books did you read as a child that talked about things living and then not living?
The awesomest books ever, man.
God,
these books taught me about real life, man. It was dark and gritty.
For real? For real? All right. Well, engineering.
It's like Game of Thrones is a bedtime story.
Well, he is going to drop in now. Oh, my God.
Not in a casual, fun way.
Into the main, and look at that. Already going ahead and closing off so many of those. And because DeMusliM decided to put up his engineering grade at the same time, prioritize add-ons, he's very late to medevacs. Already forced to lift off a couple of his structures. This is a very tough spot for DeMusliM to be in.
Yeah, if he keeps his force fields well situated, he should be able to do a ton of damage with this. This is actually hilarious, man. I mean, after that late passive game, look at that, waiting and letting just some of the units out. Oh, great force fields preventing the SCVs from getting involved. He needs a couple more zealots. That's exactly what he's warping in right now.
GG! Oh!
Beautiful. Wow.
That was incredibly well done, and Sickness has just tied things up.